success is all about really having the right people on board and having enough cash on hand to execute what you want to execute. I mean, there's really only two things, and after that, everything else is a subset of those two things.
Hi, Larry. How are you today?
Good, Nicole. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. We're talking about going off the cuff today, right? We had a
Yeah,
pre-chat. Yes.
we're just
So
going to
that's
wing it.
part of sales. Yeah. Sometimes that's what you have to do when all the odds are just kind of against you, right? You got to
Absolutely.
flip that around. So, Larry, tell me a little bit about Kathbern Management, how you got started in recruitment.
Sure. Well, Kathbern Management's been around for about 20 years. Well, this is the 20th year, so 20 years this year. And that's when I started it. And I have a team of recruiters that work with me. I guess it really started before that because I spent many years, running companies. I was president of a few different companies, and so I was building my own teams. And I felt that it was time to go on my own and help other people build their teams. So that's our main focus, is to work with owners of companies or senior people with hiring authority within those companies to help them build their teams, because success is all about really having the right people on board and having enough cash on hand to execute what you want to execute. I mean, there's really only two things, and after that, everything else is a subset of those two things.
Beautiful. I love it. Teams are everything, right? Who you have with you
Right.
is so, so important. Make or break you, right?
Absolutely.
Um, so when it comes to recruitment, what areas do you cover, like specifically? What type of jobs do you help find?
We're very broad based. We really cover many different types of jobs. We love doing senior roles, but it's like a pyramid. So the top of the pyramid is very narrow, and so there's just not as many of those kind of roles around. We can't just focus on that. So oftentimes, I mean, we're doing a president for a $50 million company at this very moment, which we love, and but oftentimes we're doing middle management or really very narrow technical specialists. It might be a software engineer, it might be a hardware engineer, it might be someone who's a manager that is in a non-metro location. Our largest client is located about 2.5 hours from Toronto, and we've probably done more work for them over the last 15 years than anyone else. But it's always a challenge with them because of where they're located. So half of what we've done with them have ended up, ended up in being in relocations. So that takes longer and is more difficult. But we always guarantee that we will finish with any client. And so even though if it's difficult, it's going to take longer, but we stick with it and we get it done.
Beautiful. And so I'm just curious about something. What's your sales cycle like? What is your sales cycle? So from the point of meeting somebody new to, you know, getting a new project on hand, like what's that timeline? What would you say? A few months?
It can be
I'm just
years.
curious.
It can be years.
Really?
Oh yeah, I'm
Okay.
a farmer and a hunter, so I'm planting seeds every day. I'm probably right now engaged in 75 conversations, in one way or another, and many of them will end up going nowhere. But it's all about volume and planting those seeds with people and following up. I mean, one if you want to talk sales, I mean, we had one job where when I finally broke through, I had called this person or emailed them 17 times over a period of years, several years. And then finally, I mean, the time was right. And he said, okay, great, come on in. And we ended up doing the CFO for that company. And at the same time, we were doing a chief operating officer. So those are two really good roles for us. And
Mhm.
but that was one of 75 conversations. So it didn't bother me. I was just checking back with them every 3 or 4 months and just went on and on and on until the time was right. So
Yeah, yeah. No,
that's the way we work.
that's great. I've always got the impression like with I mean, generally in recruitment, it's a yes, we need it, no, we don't
Yeah,
kind of
at that
call.
time, at that time.
Yes. Yes.
You can't sell
And
them. You can't sell them something they don't need.
right,
You can't say,
right,
oh, you really do need another CFO. Well, no, I've already got a CFO, you know.
right, right.
But the
No,
day the
that's true.
CFO leaves, that's the day, you know.
That's true. I guess where I was going with that is I used to make calls for different recruitment firms back in the day, like financial recruitment, IT
Sure.
recruitment, manufacturing recruitment. And what I found on the phones was it was really easy to get in. It was either a straight, no, we don't need you. Yes, we need you. And then, the meeting would go on and then it'd be a quick deal. That
Yeah.
was my experience.
Well,
So I was just curious.
if the door is open, if the door is open and they have a need, you're right. But chances are it's not. So it's
Mhm.
more of staying in touch for when that suddenly the door pops open, and it's only open for a little while before they either fill it themselves internally, externally, or they, hire one of our competitors, right? So then the door pops
Right,
shut again. So it's like it's a closed, 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 open, closed. So we
right,
just
right,
be
right.
there for when the opportunity is there. So that's why we need a large volume from a sales perspective, and a large volume of opportunities that we chase around. And then, of course, once we have a client, then oftentimes it turns into a long-term relationship. Like I mentioned, the one that's out of town. I mean,
Yes.
we've been working with them for 15 years. We have another client we're doing 3 projects for right now, and they've been a client for over 10 years. So once we have them, then the chances are there'll be repeat business. Not next week, but maybe next year. It's not often not quick, but it's over the long term, and we're playing the long game here.
So I'm going to ask you that typical question, people always ask, what makes you guys a little bit different? Because there are so many recruitment agencies out there,
Sure. Yeah,
right?
well, I guess one would be my own experience. So I've been president of a number of companies. One was a public company, so I have the perspective of perhaps the owner or the president who's there now. So I understand the organizational issues that they may be dealing with, and sometimes people come to us, presidents or owners, they come to us and they don't really know what they want. I mean, they think
Mhm.
they want something, but then after we talk, they think, you know what, that's probably not right. We probably need something totally different than that. I've had people come, we want a controller, and then I dig into it, and it turns out they want a general manager. It's someone different than what they thought. So we have that conversation. So that's a little bit different. The other thing is that we're a retained search agency, so we don't work on contingency. Never have, never will. And so, when we work with a client, we're the only people they're working with. And because of that security that gives us, then we commit to get the job done no matter how long it takes. And, I'm embarrassed and proud at the same time to say that on rare occasions, we've lost money on a project because we determined to finish it, even though it was so difficult. It took us much longer than anyone thought, but we finally did get it done, but we ended up losing money on it. But we didn't walk away. We stuck with it and got it done.
Beautiful. I love the honesty. So tell me, what is the best place for individuals to reach you, Larry?
Well, our website, Kathbern.com, Kathbern. Maybe it's on the screen. I don't know. Or that'll tell you everything you need right there as a contact form and everything.
And you're active on LinkedIn. People can find you there as well.
Oh, yes. Yeah. LinkedIn.
Beautiful.
We're active on all the social media. We're pretty aggressive social media approach. We're posting almost every day. We've got a blog that goes out, aimed at senior executives. It's been going out approximately monthly, but it's been going out for more than 10 years. So we have more than 100 blogs up on our website now, which take on different aspects of management, compensation, sales compensation, sales hiring, you name it, just about everything.
Great. And if you can just leave us with a couple of strong sales tips just for the viewers, anything you can suggest?
Oh, well, sales tips. Well, for
Yeah.
sure, volume wins out every time. So, knock a lot of doors. You're going to get a lot of no's. So what? Keep going. As someone once said, some say yes, some say no. Who cares?
And
So
some say maybe, and when you hear the maybes, that can be converted into a yes down the road.
yeah,
So
exactly. Just, ask them again in a month. Ask them
right.
again in a month. So I think that's probably the most important thing is just determination and continuing follow up. I mean, you've heard the stories that, sometimes I think the average is seven contacts for a sale, and most salespeople quit after 3. So I would subscribe to that.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Okay, nice seeing you.